Alright, so we're doing exponent rules number 2. There's a total of 8 of these videos for exponent rules, maybe 6. Alright, and today we're doing the quotient rule. That's dealing with fractions. For example, we're going to have to expand something like this. We'll do x to the third power divided by x to the fifth power. So to expand this, we go ahead and write down however many x's there are according to your exponent. And then when you have the same term or the same variable, one on top of the other, these cancel out and they become ones. So these are just like ones. Now when they all cancel on the top and there's nothing left, if there's nothing, if it's blank, we put a 1 there. On the bottom we have 1, 2, we have x squared left over. Okay, so that's the expand method. Now we do have 2 rules. Right, here's rule number 1. Okay, rule number 1 says to subtract the top exponent and the bottom exponent. Alright, so I'm going to subtract. So what I mean by that, let me do an example. If we have x8 over here on the top, then we have x4 on the bottom. The way this works is we just write down x, and the top exponent, this right here, the 8, we're going to write it down, then we're going to subtract the bottom exponent, the 4. So 8 minus 4 is x to the 4th power, and that's the answer. Okay. Now, there's something a little bit different when you have something like this. If you put x3 divided by x7, let's try that. Now, if we have x3, this top number has to go first. I know that's the smaller one, but the top number goes first, minus the bottom number. Now you put this in the calculator, 3 minus 7, that's going to be -4. Alright, but we don't want negatives. Even though this negative is something that we don't want. Nope. Alright, so we don't want no negative exponents. So this is why we have rule number 2. Rule number 2 works a little bit better. Okay, so let's say we have x. Oh wait, sorry. Let me write the rule. Sorry about that. So for rule number 2, ask yourself who has more, top or bottom. Okay, so what I mean by that, let's go back to that other example. Alright, who has more, the top or the bottom? So if I look at this, I'm going to make a fraction, and whoever has more, that gets the x, alright, my variable. So x to the 8th, I'm going to put x over here. Now if it's 8, there's 4 more, so this is going to be 8 to the 4th power. X to the 4th power. And over here is nothing, so I'm just going to put a 1. Okay? Anytime you have something on the top of a fraction and the bottom is just 1, that's your answer. Like this or like this. Right, these are both okay. Okay? Now if I do x to the 3rd power and then I have x to the 5th power, alright, who has more x's, the top or the bottom? The bottom has a 5, the top has 3, so the bottom has more x's. So we put an x right here on the bottom, and 5 minus 3. This time we kind of like switch the rule. We change it a little bit because I'm gonna get the bigger one. Excuse me, minus the smaller one. So there's 2 more. All right, the big number minus the small number. Now on the top, don't leave it blank. We want to put a 1, and this is 1x over 2. So that's it. We cannot change it like this because it's on bottom of the fraction. So it's positive. Okay, there's no more negatives. All right, so let's keep moving over here. So write down big numbers and exponents. So the big numbers are coefficients. Hey guys, so big numbers are the coefficient, okay? So if you have something like this, negative 6x squared, all right? This number over here in the front, this is the coefficient. All right, the letter right here, whatever letter it is, it could be x, y, z, is your variable. And then the small number on the top, that is the exponent. Okay, so just know that that's the difference. So let's do some problems. If I do something like 4x squared y to the third, on the bottom let's put 12x to the third y to the fifth. Okay, so on this one, these coefficients, these big numbers in the front, 4 and 12, I can put that in the calculator, all right, or I have to put it in the calculator, okay, and then we can do the variables. So let me show you. And it's better in decimals than it is in the calculator, guys, so put this decimals and it's going to be better. Okay, so you get your calculator, one in fraction form, alpha x puts the little fraction, 4 on the top, 12 on the bottom, like that. So this reduces down to 1/3. All right, I have a fraction. There's a 1 on the top, a 3 on the bottom. Now we're going to do the rule number 2. Who has more x's, the top or the bottom? The bottom has more x's because there's 3. So you get the big number, 3 minus 2, that's 1. All right, now do the same thing with the, so don't write no x. The x's are gone on the top. They've been eliminated because who wins, all right? Who wins the battle? So look at the y's. Who has more y's, the bottom or the top? The bottom has more because it's 5 and this is 3. So put the y here, and 5 minus 3 is 2. And that's your answer, right? Now it can change, guys. Some, the top, the bottom, they can kind of mix up a little bit. So let's try this. Put negative 8 divided by, let's put 2. Let's put x. Let's put x to the 4th, y to the 8th, y squared, and let's put a random z in here. It's a z. Okay. So first thing you want to do is the coefficients. All right, let me go back over here. All right, I want to put negative 8 on the top, and 2 on the bottom, and what happens? All right. So right here I get a negative 4. When you get a negative whole number, the negative whole number goes on the top of the fraction. So I'm going to put negative 4 right here. Okay. Now we are missing an exponent. Remember from yesterday, if we're missing something, see this right here? There's nothing there. You're going to put a 1. Okay. So this is going to be, I have 1x over here, I have 4. So who has more, the top or the bottom? The bottom has more. So I'm going to put the x on the bottom. And you can just put 4 minus 3 in the calculator if you need to. What's 4? Sorry, 4 minus 1. Sorry. 4 minus 1 is 3. Now you put 4 minus 1, and there you go. Now look at the y's. Who has more y's, top or the bottom? There's 8 and 2. So the top has more y's. 8 minus 2 is going to be 6. And then the z, a lot of people are like, Mr. S, I got to put 1 there? Yes, put a 1. But look, there's no z's on the bottom. So that z just stays on the top. Z 1. And that's it. Okay, so let the calculator do the coefficients and then start asking yourself who has more, top or the bottom. All right. Last one. Okay, let's say we got something like, let's do like a big number. 36 over 54. Then we're going to do m to the 9th, m to the 3rd power, n to the 5th, n to the 8th power. Okay. So coefficients, I don't know if these reduce, so let's use a calculator. Remember, let decimals do it. I think it's better in decimals than calculator. So 36 on the top, 54 on the bottom, and push enter. So that does reduce. I get a 2/3. All right. I don't know if you can see that, guys. It's 2 divided by 3. So go 2 on the top, 3 on the bottom. Now, who has more m's? The m on the top is bigger. Let me see how much though. What is 9 minus 3? So I have 6 right here. And then who has more n's? Right? The bottom has more n's. You have 8 minus 5. I'll do that. 8 minus 5. 3. There you go. All right. So on the very back, I'm going to give you the practice problems on the very back. All right. So this is on the very back, the practice problems. 4k12 divided by k squared. 14r squared s squared divided by 7rs to the 5th. That's a s. That's a little 5 exponent. Zoom in a little bit. Negative, be careful with your negatives, guys. Negative 15, x to the 6th power, y to the 5th, and it's a z. Negative 3, x to the 5th, y to the 3rd power. There's the last two. 4n to the 5th power divided by 8, just a n. And the last one, 14rs squared, 7r to the 3rd, and then s, or r cubed is what we call it. All right, so those are your practice problems. Raise your hand if you need help.